Okay, let's get right into it. There's this scam out there, you've probably heard of it, that preys on our most basic instinct, protecting our family. But here's the thing, it is mutated. It's now powered by some seriously scary artificial intelligence and on-the-ground logistics. We're going to break down exactly how this classic grandparent scam got a high-tech and very dangerous upgrade.
It always starts with something like this. A phone rings, and you hear a voice you know, a voice you love, and they're in trouble. This quote, it just hits you, right? It captures that exact moment of pure panic that these scammers are experts at creating. It feels real, it sounds real, and every fiber of your being is screaming, I have to help them, now!
And that right there is the million-dollar, or in this case, billion-dollar question. Because in the world we live in now, hearing is no longer believing. That desperate voice on the phone, it might not be your loved one at all. It could be a perfect digital ghost. Now, just hang on a second. What if that wasn't just some text on a slide? What if I told you that this voice, the one you're hearing right now, even this entire presentation, was all generated by an AI? That I'm not actually real? It's pretty scary, right? I mean, that question is meant to make you feel a little off balance. It's that sinking feeling you get when you can't quite tell what's real and what's fake anymore, right in front of your own eyes, right? Now, before we get into all the new, scary tech, you have to understand the foundation this is all built on. The original scam, it was a masterclass in psychological warfare.
So the classic version is just brutally simple, which is why it works so well. A criminal calls pretending to be a grandchild in some horrible situation. A car wreck, maybe they've been arrested in another country, and they need money, fast. And this isn't just a con, it's a direct, calculated attack on that incredibly powerful protective bond between a grandparent and a grandchild.
So how do they pull it off? Well, their whole playbook is designed to short-circuit your rational brain. First, they create insane urgency. The police are here, I need bail money right now. Then they isolate you with that killer line, please don't tell mom and dad, they'll be so mad at me. And finally, they push for immediate, untraceable payment. This exact script has been making criminals rich for years.
But here's where things take a turn. That old playbook, it just got supercharged. Two huge changes have transformed this from a common scam into a full-blown national crisis. Artificial intelligence and, believe it or not, physical couriers.
And this really shows you the whole evolution in one shot. It's fascinating and kind of terrifying. The scam went from analog to digital and then, weirdly, back to physical. A bad voice impersonation is now a perfect AI voice clone. Sketchy wire transfers are now actual couriers showing up at your front door. And asking for gift cards? Nope. Now they're asking for solid gold bars. This is the first real game changer. All a scammer needs is a tiny audio clip of your grandchild's voice, maybe from a TikTok video, a Facebook post, even an old voicemail. That's it. They feed it into an AI, and out comes a perfect synthetic clone. It works because our brains are hardwired to trust the sound of a familiar voice. It's not an impersonation anymore. It's a digital forgery designed to bypass all your internal alarms.
So how hard is it to get this technology? Well, the answer is frighteningly easy. A recent study found that basically 2/3 of the major voice cloning services have pretty much no meaningful safeguards. You can just clone a voice, no questions asked. The tools for this kind of deception are just out there, cheap and mostly unregulated.
Okay, here's the second big escalation, and this one is just chillin'. The banks, right, they're getting smarter about flagging weird wire transfers. So the criminals have pivoted to a shockingly low-tech solution. They send a person, a courier, to the victim's front door to pick up the money, in person.
And from a criminal's point of view, this courier method is genius. It lets them grab huge amounts of cash or even gold bars without triggering any of the bank's digital fraud alerts. Plus, it adds this whole new layer of physical presence and intimidation. And the worst part? Once that cash or gold is handed over, it's gone. It's basically impossible to ever get back.
So you combine these two things, the perfect AI voice and the physical courier, and the impact has been just staggering. The numbers we're about to see are almost hard to believe.
So how bad is it? In 2024 alone, older adults in the US lost an estimated $2.4 billion to fraud. And note, that is not a typo. That's a 400% jump in just 4 years. And it's almost entirely driven by these new, sophisticated impersonation scams.
And it's not just the total number. The amount they're getting from each victim is skyrocketing. Reports of individual seniors losing over $100,000 have jumped by 700%. Think about that. Scammers aren't just getting a few $100 anymore, they are emptying entire life savings in a single phone call. And we can prove that these massive losses are tied to the courier tactic. In just over 2 years, the FBI has tracked over $186 million in losses just from the scams that used a courier to pick up the cash or gold. And to bring it a little closer to home, just look at these numbers from one part of the country, the FBI's Boston region. In Massachusetts alone, just 59 victims, 59 people, lost over $18 million. This isn't some abstract problem happening somewhere else. It's happening in our own backyards, to our neighbors. But we can't forget the human costs behind these numbers. This quote from Mary is just heartbreaking. Losing the money is one thing, but the emotional damage, that deep sense of shame, of guilt, feeling like you let your family down, that's often the wound that never heals. And it's why so many of these crimes never even get reported.
Okay, so that's the threat. It's serious, it's sophisticated, but you are not powerless, not even close. Let's walk through the exact, concrete steps you and your family can take to build a rock-solid defense against this.
This is it. This is your emergency plan. You need to memorize this. It's called the Pause and Verify Protocol. Step 1. Hang up. I don't care how real it sounds, hang up the phone. The scammer's biggest weapon is panic and urgency. Hanging up takes that weapon right out of their hands. Step 2. Immediately call your grandchild back on a phone number you have for them, not one the caller gave you, or call another family member, like their parents. Step 3. If you do talk to them, ask a personal question, something a stranger on the internet could never, ever know. What was the name of your dog when you were 6? What was the silly costume you wore for Halloween in 3rd grade?
And here are the alarm bells that should be going off in your head during one of these calls. Any demand for secrecy, that's a huge one. Any pressure to act right now. Any request for a weird form of payment, gift cards, a box of cash, gold bars. And watch out if the caller gets angry or defensive when you start asking questions, or if they suddenly put a so-called lawyer or police officer on the line to sound more official.
Honestly, the single most powerful defense you have is talking about this with your family before it ever happens. Have the conversation. Sit down with your parents, your grandparents, your kids. The best thing you can do is create a family safe word, or agree on a specific personal question in advance. It might feel a little silly, but that one 5-minute conversation could literally save someone's life savings. And let's be absolutely 100% crystal clear on this point. No legitimate government agency, not the FBI, not the IRS, not your local sheriff, will ever, under any circumstances, tell you to go buy gold bars and hand them over to a courier. That is always a scam. Every single time. No exception.
So, we'll end on this thought. The technology behind these scams, it's only getting better, and it's getting better faster than we can keep up. As we walk into a future where audio and soon video can be faked perfectly in real time, it really forces us to ask a much bigger, more difficult question. In a world of perfect fakes, how will we ever really know who we can trust?